Hello, how you doing? My name is Nathan Raymond. I am from New York, but I'm living in Japan. I'm making this video presentation especially for Brahim Lark because recently I saw something called Royalty, which is offering for me to be me, and it will do the marketing for me through an AI platform online. This allows me to create my personal brand and allows me to market it. And I'm hoping others can create their personal brand. I've created something called, I've created a business ecosystem, and something inside it is a startup incubator. I have a website called JapanEnglishExchange.com. And not the .com, but if you look it up online, it's .com. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is Japan English Exchange. And the Japan English Exchange is meant for people who speak English to come to Japan to speak English. Because right now in Japan, teaching English is a huge market, and I have life experience which allows me to know exactly what's going on in Japan and the problems, and people are spending a lot of time and money, but they don't speak English. And the reason why is because right now they're learning English out of textbooks, and I'm hoping that instead of textbooks, we can replace it with a person. And while doing this, we can do a lot of things for Japan, like brand them, help them export that brand, and also help other people have a brand. We're rebranding things under education. All right, anyway, so I wanted to first impress upon you that this spring break, it is possible for people to visit me because that's when the cherry blossoms are out, and it is a good time that people are outside. They can be drinking, and during drinking they loosen up, they're ready to have conversations, and through people who are already doing things like you, Brahim, and Royalty members, we know that they already are trying to do something, and I can help them come to Japan so that this is going to help them do what they're already trying to do. So I just want to show a few numbers, and it's kind of crude representation because actually on this table, and I have information to present right now which can just give you some background on what I'm saying. But if possible, I want to show you this. Okay, and maybe it's hard to see, but real quick, the customer is India. India has 1,000 people, and one person could pay $3,000. Let's just say that. So 1,000 people paying $3,000 is $3 million. Okay? Now, again, right now, plane costs can eat a lot of that. And so that's hoping that people would, after the plane cost, at least they could have $1,000, spending money, okay? But I also wanted to impress upon the kind of way that, the reason India people could come here is because I have a partner in India, and this guy is from Tokyo. He's from India. He lived in Tokyo for 8 years, but then after he went back to his country, he started a Japanese school, especially so people could study Japanese with the intent of them actually coming to Japan. And he's done the hard part of making that a real school, so that school in general, too, is another franchise opportunity. And in New York, where I live, I'm looking for to have a Japanese school, but since I'm in Japan doing this, I can't do everything. So, we have mutual reason to collaborate, and I would then talk to somebody who's in America all year round because I'm not, but still, I want people, especially where you live, Brahim, see, you could create a Japanese school like this franchise, and we could help do that. But anyway, so in reality, that $3 million, it comes from a collaboration between me, which is in US and Japan, and India. And we'd split that. So he'd have 1.5 mil, and I'd have 1.5 mil. Fine. And I got plans for his 1.5 mil, but for now, let's think about the 1.5 mil we got. Now, right now, tomorrow I'm having a meeting where I'm speaking to another individual, but last week I met this other individual. So I'm thinking me and these other two individuals right now could be going to work. So that 1.5 million and split between three of us, that's 5 million, 5 million, 5 million apiece. Okay? But then after we have that 5 million, we're going to each take 50% of that 5 million. So then I end up with 2.5 million. He ends up with 2.5 million. The other guy ends up with 2.5 million. And we take our 2.5 million together. No, I'm sorry. Our 2.5 comes into 7.5 million. And that 7.5 million we're going to put towards a company. But luckily for us, the company is already being run by a guy. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to this place called the Business Cafe, where people go to promote their business. And obviously, the people we talk to, they're also passionate about helping people get to business. But the one guy I met also has his side business, and it has to do with introducing people. So I'm telling him, look, you have right now this side business. Our 7.5 million can go into your side business, but we want him to run his side business where he's at. But now, see, I'm getting a team in other parts of Japan, because around me there's surrounding communities. In the community we live in, we're going to meet people where we're at. So it starts off kind of just us meeting people, but creating people that live in that area. So we've got a team of network people ready. But, since we're bringing this 7.5 million and he's got the company and he's also got connections into the city. So anyway, we collaborate and, if possible, he can match us some of that money or whatever. But anyway, we start this company, and this company turns into us setting up a structure also connected to the city. But it's defined as a social business, and it's defined as a social business, and that means that, if you go to the city hall or you go to the Chamber of Commerce, they're both of the city, but they're separate entities. And the people of the Chamber of Commerce, they have to follow rules. They can't be biased. And it's the same with the city. So if you have a business, that just means that you have a private interest, and public interest people, they can't help you even if your private business is for the benefit of all, okay? Which an introduction, social innovation, consulting kind of business would be. But what they invented now is something called the social business. And the social business straddles the line. It actively allows now the government to help you in a way because your business is social, okay? But also what they have in the social business or what they have in the government is we have something called, it's called K-money because the town is called Kani. So it's a kind of currency base that you can just use within the community. I guess they fund the taxes or something, so whatever. They can afford, like, if you go to a local... So it's like welfare, EBT, but don't think of it that way. Think of it as just a form of currency, and that there's a service you could provide in your community as a volunteer. And so you're earning that money. It's just that you're using it in a way that you're going to use it within the community, and everybody recognizes that we're helping each other. So that's kind of like the business ecosystem mentality. But I'm going to explain it to them in a while how this ecosystem is a freelance ecosystem, and the currencies that they're using, we can use in a blockchain. And although some of that's a little bit down the road, it does start with us inviting people to come see me in March. And the work that I'm doing right now, because it's January 6th today, no, it's January 7th, it's going to be up until spring break, where I'm going to sign on to royalty. I'm going to be I've already been talking to a lot of people because I understand that people don't immediately sign up. So I clicked on it. I signed up. I'm not signed up yet, but I'm about to be signed up. I just got the money in my PayPal, and so I'm going to pay for it that way. But I still had to reach out and talk to everybody and tell them about things. And so, we've got it to a point where now when I do sign up, I can tell them, yo, I signed up. And it's not just out of the blue, like, oh, I didn't even know. And it's more than just sign up to royalty. It is this plan that I'm talking about here, which is also going to help all of us because no matter where we are, we can all benefit this. But as far as me telling you why things are happening in Japan, it's just that America and Japan are the top economies of the world. Don't worry about China because that's fake. But Japan and America is the top economies, and we have to understand why they're the top economies. And they're the top of the economies because even as a human being, okay, we have a left and a right brain. And our right is the social part, and social is marketing, okay? And the left is the research and development, science, mathematics, that's actually, you're no emotion, you're just objective, and that's the fact type thing. So in Japan, you've got that no emotion, this is the fact type thing because they're actually involved in making products. And that's why the place I'm at in Japan, I'm in Gifu, which is near Nagoya, which is the center of Japan. And, this is samurai stuff. It's like Nobunaga had said, if you control Gifu, you control all Japan. But you don't hear about Gifu and where I live. What you hear about is Tokyo. But that's just like saying is like when you go into a store, you know what the cash register is. But if the cash register didn't have a back office and if they didn't have a research and development plan, there'd be no reason for you to visit the cash register. And that's what I'm trying to say is that in Japan, people aren't coming to visit me to do the things that I'm doing. They're going to places like Tokyo, but they're also very short-sighted. Like they just want to come to Japan maybe one time because they already got money and they're rich and they think that, oh, they're going to eat food, they're going to do this, right? But I'm trying to talk to people who are not rich because I'm trying to say the reason you're not rich is because you haven't come to see me yet and you haven't signed up for royalty and you don't know the kind of thing that we could do here. So again, this is all talks that I'm going to have tomorrow, okay? But when it comes to this freelance economy and this blockchain that I'm talking about, yes, it's the money we're bringing and the people we're meeting. But see, remember before when we split up that 3 million with India coming here, I'm going to explain why the 1.5 million they got, they're also going to put into this system too, because, so the way that we, and the thing about why we need a blockchain is because people right now have cashless systems in Japan. And to me, it'd be great if you guys came to Japan, but you came very light. Like all the information could be in your cell phone and all the money you could need would be on a card, so you could be cashless, you could, or you could offset costs. It's just makes things easier. And also, with our smartphones, we're going to be taking video. We're going to, when we meet people, show videos of the things we take. And see, when it comes to us using words, sometimes it's easier just to show somebody like this. Like when I'm in Japan, I could take a long time explaining somebody what I do, or boom, I could show them something like this. And I have one written in English, but this is the one that I wrote in Japanese. And I could be like, yo, I teach English. I introduce people to nonprofits. I collaborate either by, being interviewed on a radio, or I introduce people, but I also have my YouTube channel. Travel, so we're ushering a new kind of travel, which is an educational travel, which is a rebrand because we have a place near where I live. It's called Seiryu Satoyama Koen, and normally nobody wants to go there, but with what we're doing, they're going to want to go there, and it's going to be under education. And we also go to universities, we counsel people, we bring people, local business, I introduce interns, we do tech recruitment for startups, Makers Lab, tech franchise, art introduction, and we're offsetting costs to the city hall, and I'm introducing people for internships.